I did it. I've been thinking about getting this lens for a long time, but I finally did it, and here is why. So about 8 months ago, I decided to start my photography business. In my business, I focus on B2B, which is servicing business, and B2C. I take portraits of travelers or executives or people who need portraits for their family as well. Now, I do own the 18 and the 33mm f1.4. The 18mm f1.4 is great for environmental portraits. It allows me to really include the environment, showcase the environment where my subjects evolve, right? It's great to tell stories. It's great to show where we're going, how the subject is evolving, and really include quite a bit in the frame. Now we also have the 33mm f1.4, which is a 50mm equivalent. Now that lens is also great. It's beautiful to take closer portraits and to basically see what you usually see. You can get a decent amount of compression with some nice bokeh and basically make beautiful portraits with it. Now another lens that I own is the 70-300mm I think 4 to 5.6 or something. This lens is also great if you really want to have a big amount of compression. If you really want to have those portraits where you really feel like you're outside the scene and there are some grandiose effects that you can do with it. For example, having a big mountain in the background, really feel closer to the subject, but you do need quite a bit of space for it, and the portraits that you will get from that lens really feel like you are outside of the scene, that you are kind of an observer and that you don't really belong within the scene, right? This is one of the problems that I had in my portrait business, right? Is that I was able to either get very close and get some low compression shots, or get very far from the scene and get that feeling of that you are far from the scene as well with big compression. And what I wanted was something in the middle, something that would give me decent compression, but would still make me feel like I'm part of the scene, which is why I decided to get the 56mm f1.4. Now I've been using this lens pretty much non-stop right now. I've taken it with me in tons of portrait sessions, and it's been with me for the past 3 weeks or so, but for the past 3 weeks, it's been a very busy season for me because it was cherry blossom season in Japan, and it has been pure joy to work with this lens. Now, I'm not gonna dive too much into technical specs in this video. I will keep that for a later video where I will do a review. So if you want to see more about technical specs, subscribe for that. But I just wanted to give you my impressions and the way I feel about this lens so far. First of all, the way I use it, as I say, is for portrait. This lens is not extremely fast to focus at all. However, is that a problem for me? Not really, because the 33mm f1.4 does a great job at that. And if I really want my subjects to run toward me or to really do some quick movements, etc., that's the lens that I would use. This 56mm f1.4 is really when I want to have something a bit more, with some more feeling into it and a bit more intentional. If I want my model or my subject to pose a bit and to really focus on, isolation and subject details, this is the lens that I would use. And of course, it doesn't mean that it can't focus at all. The version 2 of this lens, because this is the second version, focused way better than the version 1, which was way clunkier. And I also used to own the first version, right? It was clunky, it was very hard to work with. This one is much easier to work with. If the subject walk or move relatively slowly, it's fine. You will be able to hit focus, no problem. And I've used that with kids as well. I had no issue focusing with it. But I find that it shines in those moments where you really want to compose and not necessarily take a snap, but really work on the posing and the light and the composition, and make sure that you isolate everything and put it in a frame. Now this lens is also a bit on the heavier side, which is not necessarily a problem with me because I while I shoot a lot outside, I move around a lot, it's not too heavy so that I don't feel like bringing it. It's like, I'm not sure exactly, I'll just write it somewhere, the weight, but I don't feel like it's too heavy. And on my X-T5, which I usually pair with the grip anyway, with the cage from Small Ring, the retro cage, it fits perfectly and it doesn't feel like it's too heavy for me to carry around all day. As you can see, it's quite big. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit big, but it's okay actually. Now the fact that it's weather resistant also is something that I was really considering, because in my portrait session sometimes I'm brought to take pictures in very various conditions, right? Sometimes a client book a session and it starts raining. Sometimes I still have to shoot, or maybe they want to reschedule, but sometimes they do want pictures in the rain, right? So this is why having the weather resistance is also important for me on my lenses. And overall, the image quality that you get of this lens is beautiful. Even at 1.2, it's very sharp. It gets even sharper later, but for me the sharpness is not like the extreme, how to say, it's not extremely important when it comes to portrait. Of course, I want the focus to be on point. I want the overall image to appear sharp, but I don't necessarily want to see every single details in the skin, because usually in post I will decrease those details. But where this particular lens shines, in my opinion, is in the bokeh. The bokeh and the separation between the subject and the background is beautiful. At 1.2, 1.4, f2, etc. The way that the separation is gradually appearing is very, very beautiful compared to cheaper alternative lenses that you have out there. If you really want to have something that produces great pictures and will give you good image quality and good bokeh, this lens is definitely something that I will take more time to test before I recommend, but so far the pictures that I got with it are just beautiful. So yeah, this is not a review, but more a video of me sharing my opinion on the 56mm f1.2 WRR from Fuji. Let me know what you think about this lens. Have you ever tried it? Have you tried the 1.0 also? I tried it, it was way too heavy for me, which is why I got with the 1.2. And yeah, just let me know if you have any questions about it. That will help me prepare a review about this lens as well. Thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.